Hey you guys, there has not been a dull moment on the homestead this summer, and today is no exception. I am headed out my front door today instead of my back door because we are expecting such a fun and cool delivery today. We went ahead and ordered 3 mango trees from Bee's Nursery out in Sacramento, which is a couple hours drive away from where we live. I had originally thought in order to get mango trees or anything tropical, we would probably have to go down south to Riverside area. I know they have a tropical nursery there, but the YouTube algorithm popped up Bee's Nursery for me, which was located in Sac. So to my surprise, I was able to pick up 3 trees and I'm really excited about them. At our homestead for almost 2 years now, and each year we've been planting a lot of fruit trees, trying to establish perennial sources of food. So we have peaches, we have plums, we have apples, pears, avocado, cherries, you name it, we've probably planted or are going to plant it. But mangoes was one where I was a little bit nervous because they are more finicky here in California. We're just not quite tropical enough for them, but yet they will grow here with the proper care. So a couple of tips that Bee's Nursery gave us upon delivering on how to take care of these trees. The first was to keep them in the pots. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to dig down probably halfway and put the pots into the ground and just leave them in their pots. And then we're just going to maintain the height of the trees. We don't need huge mango trees. We're just looking for something that it will be a sweet treat for our family. So these trees are just perfect for us. So what I'll have to do is fertilize these containers probably 2 or 3 times a year, and then water them really well. So we do have a drip line here along the ground. We will put a drip line into these as well, but I'll have to monitor these a little bit more closely given that they're going to be in containers and not in the ground like the rest of our orchard. The next tip that Bees told us was that mangoes prefer the morning sun to the afternoon sun. And unfortunately, the way that our property is oriented, the morning sun comes this way and then the morning sun sets that way. And so most of these mango trees are going to either get the morning sun and the afternoon sun, or just the afternoon sun. And so we're probably going to have to figure out a way to put shade cloth over these so they don't get too warm and fried out. We don't want the leaves to become crispy. And so that's something on our radar of what we need to do next year, just to make sure that the heat doesn't hurt these trees. And similarly, like I mentioned, in California, we're in zone 9B. We're not quite hot enough to have these trees overwinter. And so the third tip they gave us was that we need to cover these trees for at least 2 years before they can start acclimating to our cold weather. So Ryan is going to be building some form of mini greenhouse around all of these trees in an effort to make sure that they survive the winter. Okay, so those were the major 3 tips that Bee's Nursery gave us. Now I want to walk through each of the varieties that we got and then show off what the trees look like. Okay, so the first tree that we got, which is going to be getting the morning and afternoon sun, is the Kesar mango. This is an Indian variety, and honestly, I don't know very much about tropical fruit or mangoes, but based on what I could read on Google, this tree produces medium-sized fruit, and the inside of it is fiberless or nearly fiberless, and it is very sweet with a little bit of tang, and has notes of coconut, or at least that's what I've read about. I believe this is a mid-season variety, but it's really hard to tell because oftentimes mangoes are grown in the tropics or in Florida, and so the ripening time is going to be different here because we're much colder than those areas. So, but I do believe this is a mid-season fruit. Okay, over here to this beautiful tree, I have the Mallika mango tree. It's another Indian variety. I do believe it also produces medium-sized mangoes. It is already very, very established. It is huge. If you look at it, it actually has bark of a tree, which is really going to help it overwinter well here this year. This one is actually going to get a little bit of morning sun, but primarily afternoon sun. So we are going to need to shade cloth this one as well. I believe this is a mid to late variety, but again, it's really hard to tell here in California. I'm going to be learning along with you guys when these fruits mature. What I've heard about the Mallika and its fruit, and I'll put a picture on the screen, is that it has notes of citrus. And so I've heard tangerine, I've read lemon, I've also heard like honey, melon. So it has kind of that honey flavor. So I'm really excited about this one. Similar to the other mangoes, we're gonna go ahead and put this one in the ground in its container, and then it will be on the drip system as well. Okay, and last but not least, I have the ice cream mango. This is considered a condo mango. It's compact. That's what it means when they say condo. So it's not going to grow as tall, but it's going to grow more out and bushy. It's just more compact and ideal for containers. So if you're in California and you're in the market for a mango tree, the ice cream mango is a really, really good option. They produce smaller fruits, about a half a pound, I think is probably as big as it's going to get. And they taste like mango sorbet, hence the name of the tree, ice cream mango. So I had to get my hands on that when I heard that. They are essentially fiberless, and I think when you scoop it out, it probably just tastes like warm mango sorbet. So really excited. It has fruit on it, but similar to the avocados, they will drop their fruit if they don't have optimal conditions. So I'm really interested with the move they just did, if we're gonna get any mangoes, but time will tell. I'll make sure to keep you guys updated in our orchard tours when I'm showing off the fruit that's growing in the orchard. These 3 mango trees pretty much round out our orchard here on the homestead. If you've been following along with our channel, you know I have about 40 to 45 fruit trees in our back orchard, and they primarily consist of apple trees, peaches, nectarines, cherries, pomegranates, pears, avocados, plum trees. There's probably a few that I'm missing. We have something that we also just purchased, but that will be for a later video. It is also a tree. Very excited about that. So these mango trees are really the finishing touch to our orchard. I think I have about 4 tree spots left, and that's a couple over by the grape arbor, and then I had 2 trees not make it over the winter in the middle of our orchard, which was the Tilton apricot and then a persimmon that we had. So I'm gonna go ahead and put different trees in the ground there. But other than that, with these 3 mango trees, our orchard is pretty much complete, which is really exciting because when we first bought our homestead 2 years ago, this felt like a project of epic proportions to get the trees that we wanted in the ground. We definitely wanted to make sure that when we planted our orchard that we had fruit from January through December, and I think with our citrus grove that's in the front of our property, I think with what we have planted, we have pretty much done that, which is really exciting. So anyway, it's just really exciting to see the fruit of our labor literally coming up from the ground and seeing this project kind of finally come to completion. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today as we got this epic delivery of mango trees, and I will catch you guys on the next video.